I was very fortunate to have one of my mentors. I met with him every Friday for coffee chats, and he would bring his 8-month-old to these meetings. I would be holding onto him while he was sharing about his chemo treatments and what was going on. He ended up sounding like a sage near the end. Everything about his last lecture left a big impact on my life. And I was like, yeah, this isn't worth it. What are we doing here? We're hustling so hard. I actually need to put the speed brake, pause. I need to start writing. I need to start looking after my health. When I got to Bali, especially when I left TikTok, like I went from strength training to not being able to hold dumbbells in my hand. It was that kind of energy, the insomnia, everything had hidden at that point. And then I said, no, it's not going to be my story where I worked for tech bros and this is where my life ended. It just was not the kind of the message. So I reprogrammed everything. I took those risks, those challenges. Now there's Hoogly, and in my calendar, there's my paddle game, my yoga, everything is visible 200% in there. It's during the day. I do that because I want my team to also do the same things. And so actually part of Hoogly, it's super cool. I consider myself now I'm a breathwork coach, and that's the training I've done and really fascinated in this world of breath, somatic intelligence and everything. And I have a colleague who's a professional ballerina. Our VP product and design is a professional ballerina, and she's actually performing in the Phantom of the Opera at the Sydney Opera House. And so I'm going next week to see her perform. But it's just, we've all have our own passion and our own thing. And I'm writing, I'm working on a book. And in addition to that, we also pour ourselves into the startup and making Hoogly what it is. And I've never been part of that kind of work environment. And yes, I've scaled TikTok and Trivago and Grab and done amazing things, but actually raising our first million through angel investors alone, that felt like a bigger journey than scaling TikTok to 50,000. Because you do it with a smaller team, a lot of ambition, and we knew what we were going to do. We all have our own different kind of roles to play. And I love that. I think that kind of reframing of this concept of freedom, what does your impact look like in the world, and how you can do it without burning yourself out was like my big revelation last year.